So, okay, we are live now, and we are also live on Facebook. So those of you who are tuning in on Facebook, welcome. Share this link out. If there's some friends who are still yet to join and they have issues, maybe joining with Zoom, you can share this Facebook link with them as well. So I'll just do a very quick introduction, as I was saying, about AUG, just for the benefit of those of you who were not here with us yesterday, and or in general, just for those of you who are not too familiar with us. So as the people are still coming in to this session. Okay, so first of all, we are AUG Student Services. In short, you can call us AUG. We are a one-stop student service center which offers free educational service to students like yourself. Basically, we are a partner and between our partner institution and also students. So what we do is we do offer a lot of these educational services to students, especially to going into tertiary studies like yourself, who's going to finish your SPM and going into your college or university this year, hopefully. So established back in 1995, this year is our 28th year in this industry now, and we have a lot of offices, especially in Malaysia. We will have contacts. I will have the contact screen up later on where you can snap a quick snapshot if you need to, in case you are not in contact with any of our officers yet, to help you with an inquiry for further studies, whether it's overseas or in Malaysia. Okay, so as I was saying, talking about it a little bit earlier, so we offer educational services. So one of the things that we do is help students with their inquiries to study. We help with your application. We help with your visa if you're going to overseas to study. So this is part of what we do. And this is what you can see. Some of it is a scholarship. We do advise students as well. And just for a quick information, this next week, Saturday, we're also doing a pre-departure briefing, which is for students going to Australia to study this coming February intake. So we host a session where students that are going on this February, next month, flying to Australia to further their studies and to just brief them what to expect, what to bring, what are some of the things that you should not bring, prepare themselves, especially for those first time flying to Australia. And we have welcome party in Australia to welcome the students as well. So these are just some of the things that I've mentioned, along with many other things that we do for students like yourself. And they are all absolutely free. We don't charge our students. All these things that we do, it goes back to you, and they are not comes with no fee. So these are some of the countries that we represent. So they are US, Australia, UK, Singapore, and the rest. And also locally in Malaysia, most of the private institutions, we also help students with inquiry and application to the institutions in Malaysia as well. Okay. And yeah, these are some of the other things that we do. Very excitingly, this year, we're also bringing students to other countries to visit campuses as a study tour. And of course, we also organize education fair, which I think some of you might have received some of the invitations to some of the events. And also, like today itself, we work with teachers to put up this SPM webinar just so that you can be well prepared for your upcoming SPM exams this February or March. So these are some of the things that we do in general for our students to make sure that you have a smooth transitions into your studies, particularly in the tertiary studies. So this is what I've mentioned earlier. This is the contact screen. In case you are not in contact with us, you can take a screenshot. Otherwise, we will leave it down in the chat box later on as well, in case you want to WhatsApp or keep in contact with us. And we are also on social media, of course. If you are watching us from live Facebook, if you have known now, AUG Malaysia is our Facebook page. And we also have an Instagram page where you can follow us. If you want to have more detailed information, you can go to our website, www.augstudy.com/Malaysia, where we have everything about us and the latest event updates all in there. So if you are more in the social media one, follow us on Instagram. We do update our events from time to time. Okay. That is all from me. So I do not want to waste too much time. That's really quite a number of you coming in. And like I say, if some of you who just joined us, welcome. And if your friends are still tuning in, please let them know. We're going to start now. And yes, over to Teacher Rosie. Teacher Rosie has been teaching English for the longest time. I think 34 years, if I'm not wrong. So today you are in for a treat. She's absolutely experienced. She has dealt with a lot of students in the past who are SPM takers. So today you're in for a treat. And I hope that you ask most questions that you can. Leave it down on the chat box. We will address the questions at the end for the Q&A session, just so that we don't interrupt too many times to let Teacher Rosie finish her whatever she needs to share. So please leave your questions in the chat box. We will try to compile all of them and address them at the end. And just in case, if we have not enough time, if it's past 10 o'clock, we cannot address all the questions, please keep them, write them down, or just copy paste them, put it down in the Telegram group, and Teacher Rosie will get back to you all later on. And also, please feel free to write down notes. You don't have to copy the slides. The slides will be shared to you after the session today, also in the Telegram group. And you just need to write down the notes that you feel is useful for you, okay? The slides, leave it. We will send a copy to you later on. So I hope I addressed everything. And yes, over to you, Teacher Rosie. You may take over.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Good evening to everyone. All right, my name is Teacher Rozia binti Muhammad Ali. I'm teaching at Sekolah Menengah Sains Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra in Pengkalan Cepat, Kota Baru, Kelantan. So I have been teaching for 34 years English. My first posting was at UUM, University Utara Malaysia Matriculation Center for 5 years. And then I moved to Kelantan to teach at Sekolah Menengah Sains Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra. Okay, so Sekolah Menengah Sains Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra is once we were IB school, right, for 11 years, and then we want to stop it. So I was the coordinator for the IB program. So I think I can help you in whatever way possible. All right. So now let us start. Okay. Okay. As you can see, we are going to unbox the new format of KSSM. You are the second batch to seek for this. Can you see or not? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Teacher Rosie, we can see your slides. And okay, I think students are responding in the chat box. Okay, students, if you can just respond in the chat box, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I can see it coming. Okay, you can carry on, Teacher Rosie.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we are going to unbox the new format of the English language for SPM. This is the new format for KSSM English. Yeah, you are the second batch. The first batch was last year. And I am afraid that you don't have to be scared of this paper. I think you can score A+. If you really listen to my talk, okay, and then you do whatever that you can do. We still have about 1 month to go, and I think you can get A+. And I think for you to go to further your studies overseas, A+ will really help you, right? Okay, now let us look at the next one. Okay, what is CEFR? So this one you have to understand, because I believe that when we seek for any paper, we should know what the paper is all about. So C stands for common, E European, F framework, and of course R reference. So when we teach CEFR, we have a reference. Okay, so what is our reference? The framework, your textbook, the syllabus, and we are following the European framework reference. So that's why your textbook, they are internationally based, not in Malaysian base. All right, and then why is it common for European to have this kind of exam or test? Because there are many foreigners in European countries, and they cannot speak French, for example, Spanish, right? So the common language that they can use is English. So they want to see their level of proficiency. So they have already set up this CEFR. Okay, so you're very lucky because you're sitting for international paper. So when you go overseas, it is not that difficult for you to interact with the foreigners overseas. All right. All right. Then now you must know what are the levels. Okay. No, you cannot say that CFR, I want to score A plus. You have to understand what is it all about. Now let us go to bottom to top. Okay. Now, normally people will say that A1 is the good one, is the best result, the best grade. No, for CEFR, A1 is the basic level. Okay, so what is A1? Can understand and use familiar everyday expressions and very basic phrases. This one is meant for standard 5, standard 6, form 1 and form 2. So when I speak English, you understand and you can use familiar everyday expressions. For example, how are you? I'm fine. I'm okay. I have my lunch, things like that. Basic phrases. All right, let's go. Okay. Aim at the satisfaction of needs of concrete type. Okay. So I think you are not at this level. And A2, we move to A2, can understand sentences and frequently use expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance. That means when you read your text, you can understand. When I speak to you, you can understand, you can respond, right? You know how to construct simple, compound, complex structures. You know some vocabulary and you know how to connect the ideas together. That is A2. B1 can understand the main points of clear standard input on familiar matters regularly encountered in work, school, leisure. That means everyday life situations. And when you read books, B1, okay, A1 is form 1, all right, and form 2. And then when you go to form 2, you're not going to be at A1. But if you are at A1, then you have to make sure that you are at A2, right? And then let me tell you, for SPM standard, we begin at B1, B2, C1, okay? So if you get A1, A2 for your SPM next time, okay, when the result is released, it is not good. Okay, A1 means you fail to achieve certain standard. A2 means the standard is very low. What we want is B1, B2, C1. Okay, C2 is not meant for SPM candidate. C2 is meant for MUET and also when you want to go out working for your career. Okay, so B1, because in writing, B1, okay, is your part 1. B2, the essay in part 2. C1 is the essay in part 3. It goes the same with all the papers. Okay, so that's why you need to know what the levels are. Okay, B1, as you can see, you can understand the text. Okay, when you read the text in your textbook, when you sit for your exam, you can understand clearly, okay, all the text, all the question asked, and you can respond to the question. Okay, B2 can understand the main ideas. Okay, this one you understand the main points of clear standard. That means we didn't put a lot of vocabulary there. It's not there are not many complex structures, but you can understand. It's very simple and straightforward. But B2, you have to understand the main ideas of complex text. All right, both concrete and abstract topics, meaning that concrete, you can see, you can guess, you can look at the text, the meanings are all there. Okay, but abstract topics, you have to think, inference, okay? This is required for level B2, including technical discussion in his or her field of specialization, okay? And then you also, C1 is the best one. So if you can get C1 for all papers, you are going to be A+ student. So maybe if you look at your result slip, you will say, why did I get C1? C1 is the best result. If you get A1, that means you're going to fail the paper or you can get E. And then if you have A2, A1, maybe you will get D. All right, or maybe E still. But if you have B1, A2, A1, you cannot get A+, A, or A-. So I want you to understand this, okay? I will explain to you later if you want to know more about this. All right, and then C1, the highest standard for SPM, for our level, school students, right? okay, for this level, can understand a wide range of demanding. So you look at the word demanding. Demanding means challenging, requires a lot more of thinking, of reading, and to use your thinking skills in order to answer the questions, all right? And the text will be longer, and you have to recognize implicit meaning, okay? Implicit meaning, I guess, I can use BM here, maksud yang tersirat. Okay, you study BM, you had your BM presentation yesterday, all right? So C2, of course, you can understand with ease, okay? Virtually everything heard or read, okay? Right, we go to next slide. I hope you can understand this, all right? So any questions so far? No? Yeah? Okay, so that means you understand. Now, let us look at the format, okay? We have 4 papers. Normally, okay, the teachers at school will concentrate more on paper, reading paper and writing paper. So you have to understand the code, okay? We are doing 1119 still, but this time around, we have 4 papers. So 11191 is reading, 11192 is writing, 11193 is speaking, and 11194 is listening. You have to understand the code. So reading and use of English, I will discuss this in great detail later, but this one, I just want to show you what is it all about for each paper. We have 8 questions in part 1. It will give you 8 marks. Part 2, we have 10 questions, 10 marks. Part 3, 8 questions, 8 marks. Part 4, 6 questions, 6 marks. And the last part of part 5, 8 questions, 8 marks. So total of the questions asked, okay, is 40, and the marks also is 40 marks. Okay, now why 25%? Oh, the beauty of CEFR, it is like this, you know, if you are very clever in writing and reading, but you're not so sure of yourself on listening, and then you don't have confidence to speak, so you cannot score A plus if you have that kind of abilities. But I'm here tonight to help you. You can get A plus, okay? If you cannot get A plus, at least you can get A. Please do not get B. I will show you tonight. A minus, and A plus. That is my intention. I want to help you. Okay, don't worry. So as you can see, the total mark is 40, right? Now we move to writing. Writing, we have 3 parts. Question 1, 20 marks. Question 2, 20 marks. Part 3 or question 3, 20 marks. For question number 1, it is mandatory. That means you do not have a choice to make. That is the question. One question, we have to answer the question. Part 2 also is the same thing. One question, compulsory question you have to answer. But part 3, we are going to give you 3 options and you choose only one option. And all the parts will give you 20 marks each. And when we total up, you are going to get 60 marks. Now we move on to 11193, that is speaking. We have 3 parts here. Part 1, 4 questions for each candidate. Okay, I'm going to discuss all the papers tonight, so you don't have to worry. And I will give you all the tips and techniques how to score A, all right? So let us say goodbye to B, okay? If you are A plus student, please maintain A plus, all right? And if you score 94, 95 marks, why don't you try 100 marks, okay? And if you score A, why don't you try to score A plus, 90 onwards? And if you have scored, okay, if you scored A minus for trial, right? Why not you score for A or A plus? Okay, those who got less than A minus, you still have the chance to score A plus. I believe that. I believe in you, okay? All right, and then as you can see, speaking, you will come in tests. So there are 4 questions, part 1. Part 2, we have 1 question for each candidate. And part 3, 3 questions for both candidates. And the total marks, okay, is total marks are 24. And then we go to the last paper, that is 11194, listening. Part 1, we have 7 questions. Part 2, we have 8 questions. Part 3, we have 5 questions. And every question will give you 1 mark each. And the last part, 10 questions, 10 marks. So altogether, 30 marks. Okay, now what is 25%? I tell you how. Let's say, for example, your reading, you got 40 over 40. So you times 25%. And that means you will get 25%, right? So writing also, you get 60 over 60. So you times 25%, you get 25%. So now you have 50% in your hand. Now, what about speaking? 24 marks, or you have to convert to 25%. So maybe you got full mark also, right? Then you got 25%. And what about listening? Again, 30 over 30 times 25%, you get 25%. So altogether, we are not going to total the total marks, but we are going to total all the percentage that you get. So if we add all the percentage for each paper, you will get 100%. So that's why CEFR, it is not impossible for you to score 100 marks. It's yours, believe me. All right. Okay, so it is not like BM or like other subjects whereby 100 mark is something like wow, out of this world. But for English CEFR, if you are good in the language, you can answer all the questions, follow the requirements. I don't see why not. Why can't you get 100 marks? Okay, 100%. So please, English is easy to score. And when I look at your names, I guess you have been using the English most of the time in your life, right? Can I hear a response? Yes or no? Hello? Yes? No response? Can you hear me or not? Hello?
Yes, Cikgu Rosie, they are responding through the chat.
Oh, okay. All right.
They say yes,
Oh,
okay.
thank you. All right. Okay, as you can see, paper 1, 11191, 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right. So we will discuss how are you going to do it. And this one is a weak test. The level tested here is B1 and B2 level. There is no C1. If we put C1 level, we are afraid that most of the students could not achieve that level. So that's why those who are very good in English, those who are good in English, reading paper shouldn't be a problem because the level is only B1 and B2. And what about writing? Here we have B1 and B2 level, but part 3, extended writing, we have a mixture of C1, but we are looking at B2 most of the time. So for writing, you have the same time, okay, 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, we are going to discuss this. How are you going to allocate the time? And speaking, you see the marks, okay, there are 24 marks, but the percentage is 25%. So I think this speaking, you need to be careful. You see, almost 1% for 1 mark. And the time given is 13 minutes, right? And the level is between B1 to B2. And then for listening, part 1, 7 questions and so on, it is 40 minutes. Maybe you think that 40 minutes is such a long time, or maybe it's a very short time. No, you are going to have enough time to answer all the parts, okay? I will tell you what is it all about, and you can ask me questions. And again, B1 and B2 level. Actually, we have C1, but it's a mixture of B2 and C1. All right, now I think you have understood what CEFR all about. Now we are going to look at other part, okay? Abang, parking mana? Tak ni. Okay. But abang, wait nah. Do you have any question to ask? Option. Tak, abang, dia tak boleh gerak. Please. Okay, ya. Okay. How to put Okay. Any question? I'm waiting for my daughter to settle some technical problem here.
Okay. Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
So-
She is now here.
Do you want to take some
Okay.
question? Oh, okay, ready.
Okay, ready. Here, Patty. Learning objective for paper 1. Okay, now learn the overview of reading and use of English. Paper 1 is reading and use of English. You read, when you read, okay, a reading paper, and you read, you understand on how you use your language, all right? And then part 2 is also and then not only to read and use of the language, but also, as you can see, part 1 we give you short text, and part 2 we have choice clues. This one is vocabulary and grammar. Short text is most on notices, advertisements, you know, that kind of thing. We want to test your understanding of reading something, all right, in English, and then how you respond to it. You have stimulus, you have situation, and you have to choose the best answer. Part 3, of course, it is reading comprehension. Part 4 is gap text, whereby we omit, okay, 6 blanks from the text, and then we give you 8, and you have to choose 6. You must know what to delete and how to choose the answer. And last but not least, part 5 is matching and information transfer. It is information transfer, but also we have questions on matching. Okay, all right. Now, reading and use of English, Simple 191, we have 40 questions. So as you can see, I've already explained that, all right? Okay, and you have to answer all questions, compulsory, in order to get 40 marks, okay? All right, and then as you can see, 1 hour, 30 minutes, I've already explained. And then the part 1, short text, 8 questions. For short text, you only have 3 options, A, B, C. There is no D, E, only A, B, and C. And for each stimulus, all right, or text, you can see that we are not going to give you long text. It's about the text. For each text is about 90 words. All right, and then what are you supposed to do? You have to read the text carefully in each question. You know, for reading paper, you cannot take for granted that, oh, this question is easy. I know the answer. I'm sorry. I would like to ask you to read the questions carefully. Most of my students, all right, the good ones, they tend to read very fast, okay? So when you read very fast, you tend to do CD or careless mistakes, right? So you have to read the question carefully and to find the options. We don't want the correct answer. We want the accurate, the most accurate and the best answer. So that's why you need to understand what is the question all about and what are the options there, why they are there, all right? And you have to choose the best, okay? A, B, or C. All right, reading skills tested in part 1. Okay, you have to understand main points in text. Okay, you don't have to understand all, but you have to understand what is the most important points in any text. All right. Okay, and then after that, you go, after you have understand, oh, this one is about, for example, advertisement, okay, asking us whether we want to join certain courses, you know, that kind of thing. So you understand the main ideas, and then you go for specific details and information, for example, when, where, you know, that kind of thing. And then you have to guess. Guess means you have to tell yourself, if you're not familiar with the text, okay, then it's okay. You still can find clues in the question, in the stimulus, right? And then also in the options. So you have to guess meaning of unfamiliar words from clues, yeah, in context. I do understand that. We cannot know everything, right? Oh, sometimes we read a lot, but sometimes we didn't come across that word. So don't be worried. You still can get the answers correctly, all right? And then we move on to part 2, okay? Choice clues. All right, we have 10 questions here. Most of the students will tend to have problem here because this is grammar and vocabulary question. So you don't have to know grammar everything, as long as you can understand the whole idea of grammar. Okay, so I suggest maybe you can take some notes. study about 8 parts of speech. You know what is 8 parts of speech? The things that we need in English. When we want to study English, no matter whether we want to speak, to listen, to read, or to write, we need to know 8 parts of speech. In mathematics, we must understand, we should know, certain things, basic things. So in English, okay, maybe you can jot down 8 parts of speech. Nouns, okay, number 1, nouns. Number 2, pronouns, okay, and then we have verb. Now, why noun and pronouns? Noun and pronouns, when we want to write a sentence, we use them. Subject. For example, I am a teacher. You see, I is pronoun, the subject, and the predicate begins with a verb. I'm a teacher. Okay. And then pronoun, noun, that is pronoun, I. If let's say, for example, now we can say that AUG is a well-known education program in Malaysia. So AUG is a noun. Okay. So you remember noun, pronoun, and then verb. Because why verb? When you have the subject, and of course you have the predicate. The predicate is the story, and it begins with a verb, okay? And then after verb, we have adjective. Adjective is to modify the noun or pronoun. For example, a lazy cat. So where is the noun? Cat. So where is the adjective? Lazy. So lazy cat. So you understand? Okay, she is strong. So where is the adjective? Strong. To describe whom? To describe pronoun. She. So that's why you go according to the what we call that chronological order. You won't get it wrong. You can memorize it easily. All right, and you can remember it most of the time. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective. And what about adverb? Okay, adverb, for example, she walks quickly. So where is adverb? Quickly, because adverb will modify verb, adjective, and another adverb. Okay, adjectives and adverbs, they are modifying tools to make our sentences beautiful and interesting. See, you don't have to be scared. Okay, all right. So she is beautiful. Okay, she wears for example, she wears the dress beautifully. The dress, that kind of thing. So you play with these adjectives and adverbs. And of course, after that, you must know preposition. Do you know preposition is very important? In Malay, we call it sendi kata or kata sendi. So, for example, I live in Kelantan, and let us imagine if the sentence does not contain a preposition, I live Kelantan. It doesn't make any sense. Do you understand or not? And then after that, we must know conjunction. Because if you do not know what conjunctions are all about, okay, and you do not know how to use conjunctions effectively, so your ideas may not be understood clearly. And furthermore, if you didn't use conjunctions, how can you make compound and complex structures? For example, I am teacher Rosie, and then I am teacher Rosie, and then my sister, I am a teacher, my sister is a teacher. So can you imagine how boring the sentences are going to be like? Okay? So if I say, my sister and I are both teachers, you see, it sounds more, what we call that, interesting, and you save time and people can understand, oh, her sister and they both are teachers. Okay, and then complex structure, if you want to say, I love you, right? And then I want to marry you. You are so kind. Can you imagine? Okay, you have to say in simple sentences. It is such a boring and dull structure, and it doesn't show your maturity, right? So in order to score B2 and a bit of C1, you need to have complex structure. Maybe you can say that, I love you and I want to marry you because you are very kind. So in one sentence that is compound complex structure, you have said everything, and it is so mature and very exciting to listen to and to read. Okay, all right, that is what I mean. Noun, pronoun, you have to know this. This is the basic one for all papers. Yeah, listening, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And then read and then extended text there, 250 to 300 words. We give you one text, and the number of words cannot exceed more than 300 words, and we we remove 10 items. Most of them are going to be grammar and vocabulary. Sometimes it's even 5 grammar questions, 5 vocabulary questions. Sometimes 6 grammar questions, 4 vocabulary questions. We don't know. All right. But whatever it is, the questions are going to test your vocab and your grammar. You need to read the text carefully and you have to choose the best word for each space. And this time around, please, you have another letter there that is D. So A, B, C, or D. Okay. All right. Now, reading skills tested in part 2, you have to guess meaning of unfamiliar words. All right, from clues in context. So if you read a lot, okay, and you are what we call that avid reader, okay, so it is not a big problem here. But if you do not have much time to read or you don't like reading, so never mind. As long as you can understand the basic part, you say the basic text. What is the basic idea? You can guess from the text, from the clues in the context, or what we say contextual clues. And then here also we want you to recognize typical features at word level, and text level of the joints. Again, here for reading comprehension, we give you 4 options, except for the first part, 8 questions, 3 options. But for the rest, part 2 and part 3, we have 4 options. So you have to be careful of these, all right? This is extended text, 650 to 700 words. It's about 1 page, about 7, 8 paragraphs, all right? So it is not that long, but it is longer compared to the previous ones, right? So it can be extracted from novel, magazine, newspaper, books, and whatnot, okay? And again, the word there is carefully. Read the text carefully. Okay, I will go through very detailed after this. All right, this is a general understanding of the reading paper. Again, you have to choose the correct answer, A, B, C, or D. Now, reading skills tested in part 3, we also look at the main points in longer text. Do you understand the main points? Because we have many paragraphs there. So do you understand the main points in longer text? All right. And then understanding specific details and information. And again, we are looking at guessing meaning of unfamiliar words from clues in context. Recognize typical features at word, sentence, and text level. Okay, of a wide range of genres. Okay, gap text, 6 questions. All right, 8 choices of answers. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. All right, that's why we have 8 choices of answers. And this text is about 350 to 450 words. Not that long, but you need to understand each paragraph well, because you need to fill in the gap. That's why they say gapped text. Okay, from which 6 sentences have been removed and placed in jumbled order. Or it is not like say A is the answer for number 34, for example. No, you have to guess which one in jumbled order after the text. And you have to read the text carefully and you choose the correct answer, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or H to fill in the gaps. And normally, you should eliminate those 2 answers which are not relevant, okay, in the text. So it will be easier for you to choose the best answer because they are all jumbled up, right? Okay, now reading skills tested in part 4, understanding main points in larger text. Okay, and then understanding specific details and information. So now, as you can see, when you read something, you have to understand the whole idea, the general meaning. What is it all about? And then after that, only you go for specific details and information. And of course, you have to guess when you come across unfamiliar text, okay? Unfamiliar words from clues in context, okay? Contextual clues, meaning that in the text that you are reading. And then, of course, again, it's the same things you have to recognize features of word, sentence, and text level of a wide range of genre. Okay. Okay. And then tips for part 4, 11191. You have to skim through the text to see what it is about. Okay, try to understand the general meaning, like what I've already told you. All right, skim the paragraphs and look for topic sentences in each paragraph. Then you have to read the text before and after each gap. Okay, try your best to guess the missing information. Go through the gap text given. Try to find a link between the text and the gap sentences. The text and gap sentences will be on the same topic. Reread the whole text to make sure it makes sense before going to the next part. Now, I have notes on reading, but I cannot share with you here. Maybe I can share with you later on in our group. Or is it okay? Because I have so many things to discuss with you. I have 50 slides. Maybe after I finish with my 50 slides, you can ask me questions and we are going to look at the part which you feel that you are not confident with. Is it agreeable with all of you? Huh? Are you with me? Can you say something yes or no? Huh?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. That
Yeah.
means, yeah, silence is golden, meaning that you understand me, right? So that's why you are keeping quiet. So after everything has finished, I will look at, the chat box, right? What are the hot questions that we need to tend to? Okay. Now can I move to the next one? Or still extra tips? I have so many extra tips here. All right. Look up for clues before and after gap sentences. When you read storybooks, right, or anything, reading materials, in order to understand the whole idea, you have to look for clues, right? And I cannot say that when I read, let's say, for example, text from Reader Digest, genre on health, education, for example, or something that I am not familiar with, I cannot say that I do know all the meanings of the words, because in English we have more than 500 words in English. So what I do normally do is I read again, okay, before and after the sentences, the word that I'm not familiar with, and I guess. And I can understand the text. Sometimes there are certain words which are not familiar, scientific word, scientific term. You just ignore them because it is not that important for you to understand every word in the text. Okay, do you understand me? So you just understand the text by guessing. Okay, and then example here, subject singular, plural, it, he, she, they, we. So you see, if you say the subject is she, so you look at the options, does it fit or not? And then you also have to look at the text. Is it a report? Is it a story? Is it an article? Whether or not it is written in the past tense form, in present tense form, active, passive form. So all these things can be guessed. And then one more thing, when we read gap text, you should understand when there is a gap in the first paragraph, it is the introduction, right? So when it is introduction and the last line in the introductory paragraph is to conclude what you have said. And then if the gap is at the beginning of a paragraph, that is a topic sentence. So in order to get the idea, you have to read the paragraph and then you find the options. What is the topic sentence? What is the meaning of topic sentence? Topic sentence is the sentence which tells you about the whole thing in that paragraph, the main idea. And if you find the gap in the middle of the paragraph, you should understand the first sentence is topic sentence. The second line is what? Is supporting point. That means you support the main idea. So if you know the main idea, you like to find the options which support the main idea. Okay. And then if the gap is after the supporting point, the third line, that is elaboration. So you look at the supporting point. What does it say? It must be connected to each other. And then if it is in the fourth line, right, or the fifth line, there will be further elaboration or maybe example. So you see, oh, this one is example. So you find the most relevant example to be fill in that blank. All right. And if at the end, the last sentence in the paragraph, that should be the concluding sentence for that paragraph. So in order to find what is the sentence, you read again the topic sentence above, and then you try to understand, because topic sentence and concluding sentence, they are parallel in meaning, but not in they are not going to be written in the actual words, but the meaning is the same. Okay. All right. And then you look at demonstrative pronouns, these, that, those. It will give you clues. Referencing anaphoric or cataphoric pronouns, okay, that is too scientific name. Never mind, just referencing pronouns. If they say the papers, they, so you mean they are referring to the papers, plural. That is what it means. Okay. Cohesive devices or linkers is conjunctions. Using the M, penghubung, kata hubung. All right. So introducing new ideas, showing causes and effects, it will tell you. So if you say task, you cannot put task at the beginning of a paragraph, right? So somewhere in the paragraph, it can be the concluding part. Okay. All right. Grammar, check the tense of the text, present or past. It is very important so that you can understand the text well. Okay. Sometimes the text is mixed. Okay. There are mixed tenses there. We have present, we have past, and we have everything there. But most of the time, it states if it is present, present. If it is past tense, past tense. Okay. Don't simply choose a sentence because it contains a similar words or words to the sentences before or after. It might not wear your magic. Okay. It can be, you can use this technique, but you have to read again whether it is related and connected. Okay. And then you have to match the sentences based on the development of ideas or opinions. Right. You put in the answer and you read again. Does it make sense? Does it fit? Okay. That is how we do. Yeah. For part 4. Part 5, matching and information transfer. Now, when we talk about information transfer, what comes to your mind? Transfer means you have to transfer something to another place, right? From A to B. So information, what is the thing that we transfer? We transfer information. So when we say information transfer, you have to understand the information that we transfer must be accurate like the original one in the text. So if you didn't spell it correctly, if we say that we have hyphen, you didn't write hyphen. It is in plural form, you forget your S. So if the answer is correct, but before you didn't transfer the information correctly, accurately, you will get wrong for that question. So that's why I say for CEFR papers, all the papers, what you need to do is to understand the techniques, how to answer, give your best, focus, concentrate, check everything. You have to check everything. You have to be an alert reader, sit up straight, focus. All right. Because 1 hour and 30 minutes, we don't have much time. And we allocate that time just enough for you to do everything to score A+. Okay. So you cannot say that, wow, these questions look easy, I still have some time to do this. No, because every question needs your attention. That's why we always remind you to read carefully, slowly, carefully, steadily. Okay. Don't read fast and then you will miss a lot of things. And then you don't have to be so quickly to give the answers. Take your time, meaning that I didn't mean that when I say take your time, you just read lazily like that, like nobody business. No, you read, you understand, you take time to think. And if you're not sure, leave that question, go to the next question, then come back, think again. So a lot of process there, right? So, and then this is subjective paper whereby you have to write, okay, various inputs, more or less 370 words. We are going to give you a lot, for example, like book review, okay, what the people think about this, that kind of thing. Also, these people, they have different interests or hobbies, things like that. That's why it says here various input types. The task, what are you supposed to do? You have to match All right. Okay, this one is for this one. These people like to do this one. All right. And then completion of notes, we give you in a sentence and you have to find the words in the text. But again here, you have to match, okay, to complete the sentences grammatically correct. Okay, you cannot just simply take the word from the text. You have to see whether it fits in the notes here, completion of notes, diagrams, and short answer questions. So testing focus on specific details. All right. So reading skill tested in part 3. Okay, understand the main points in longer text. Again, the same thing. All right. Okay, now let us look at, now we go to writing. Okay, any question on reading? Okay, any question before I go to writing? Hello? I have to check.
Rosie, I think if you want to take the questions, there are quite some earlier on.
Oh yeah, okay.
Do you want to
I
take
will
them?
go to the, do you think I need to take the question now or take the questions at the later part?
If you want to take all, okay, let's see. I
Are
think we
there
can take
many
some
questions? Are there many questions?
quite.
No.
I would say. Yes,
So what
sorry,
is
who was
the-
that?
Can the question be answered like almost like before over? Because I think it's be better if we learn like fast and the question will be answered later.
Okay, then
I agree with you. It's just that if I'm a bit fast, okay, if you don't understand, you just tell me, all right? If not, I will be talking to myself, correct? You know what I mean? Okay, students, can you? I would like to have interactive group also, you know. I think this is the same like my PDPR classes during MCO. I think I'm talking to myself, you know, and then the students are keeping very quiet. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm
okay,
afraid.
Teacher Rosie, I think let's just take some questions. I think let me trace back from the very beginning.
See
Okay,
whether I
I'm
can
not
answer for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is answered throughout your presentation. There's a student who asked what is complex structure. I think this is very early beginning on.
Yeah, complex structure in reading, on reading or what?
It's on reading, yeah.
Okay, complex structure. I think for part 1, there's no complex structure. It's easy, right? Part 1, 8 questions. Part 2 is rational clues, right? It is it's about grammar and vocabulary. If you don't understand the whole text also, it's okay. But you have to look at the sentence before the blank and sentence after the blank. And then you study the options. Okay, for example, if they are testing you on grammar, let's say, for example, verb, become, becomes, became, becoming. So you should know. So when you say, let's say, for example, you look at the word has. So has is present perfect. Of course, become, became, become. So the answer is become. Sometimes you don't have to understand the text, all of it. Do you understand? And then the word vocabulary. Okay, for example, ravenous, hungry, famished, for example, that is to show how hungry you are. So you have to choose. Okay, you have to delete. We have 4 options. You delete which you think that is not that are not appropriate. Then whether within between the 2 answers, which one is the best? You can write the answer there, and then you read again. You know, when you read again, you can see, oh, this is not the answer. All right. Okay. So complex structure. Maybe I think comprehension, okay, a bit difficult, but I tell you, you are going to be able to understand the text, because our aim is to make sure that the student understand the text at least 75%. Okay, if you don't have English, then sorry, all right, because we are testing B1 and B2 level. That is Form 4 and Form 5 standard. Okay, so I think no complex structure there. Complex structure meaning that you have complex structure whereby we combine ideas, right? We have compound complex sentences. We have complex structure whereby we have main ideas, subordinate ideas. So I don't think you're going to get confused. If you read the text carefully for reading comprehension, you read the text for the first time just to get the understanding of what the text is all about. And then you go to the question, you study question 1, 2, 3, what is it all about? And we are going to guide you, because in each question, in paragraph 1, in paragraph 3, so you go back to that paragraph. Okay, you study the paragraph and then you read the question, you highlight certain words. The question wants you to do what? How, for example. How means you want to find how. Why? To show reason. What is the thing, the specific thing? Who is the person? You have to understand that. And then after that, when you look at the text, you have got the answer. So you look at the options. Don't simply put the answer, because maybe there is going to be what we call that more accurate answer than the answer, because we are not going to find the correct answer, but we are going to find the most accurate answer. Paling
Okay,
tepat.
Teacher Rosie.
Yes.
Okay, Mama Omar, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please let us know. I'll just move on to the next question from Simranjit. Okay, for paper part 1, for paper 1 part 2, my school likes to give answer that have similar meaning, but they only choose the answer given in the answer scheme, and they don't accept the answers even though the answer can be acceptable. Why?
Okay, your school, that is internal problem. Okay, internal mean your school, at your school level. But for SPM level, we're going to look at all the questions students answer, candidates answer randomly, and they are going to discuss among the head of chief, chief, when we have chief for markers, right? So we can accept not only that one answer given, right? Maybe we can accept a few answers which are relevant and correct. So you don't have to worry about this. Any more questions?
Okay. Yes, there is. Let me read out the next one. Okay. There is... Okay, can Teacher Rosie explain the importance of using cohesive device with good effects? Instead of using the usual ones like first of all, secondly, next.
All right. Okay, I can. Cohesive devices you need to use in every part. For part 1, you use the most frequent use, okay, basic cohesive devices like and, but, because, right? And then firstly, secondly. But in second part of writing, right? This one is for writing. For reading not so much, because you are reading, right? You have to use words like besides, apart from there. All right. Furthermore, I think you are familiar with this. And then when you go to part 3, you have to use not only connectors, sequence connectors, but also logical connectors. For example, like therefore, as a result, thus. Okay, you get understand my meaning, because when you use all these, it gives us the understanding of what you want to say. Okay, cohesive devices. We would like. There are so many books on cohesive devices. Maybe you can read some, because if I want to give, I try to give. If I have, I can share with you in the group. Okay, there are so many of them. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
There's another one on cohesive device as well. On is there a way to memorize?
I will share with them the cohesive devices. Okay, for example, to show reason, these are the cohesive devices. To show concession, like although, even though, these are the concession. So you cannot use, if you want to show contrast, for example, you use like for example, moreover, furthermore is in addition to, right? Although, though is to show contrast. She is very clever. Although she is clever, she is quite stingy to share her knowledge, for example. So this type of thing. But if you use other cohesive device, it may not give the same idea of as the same as what you are thinking, because you are a writer and I'm the reader, the examiner. We don't want to have ambiguity here, ambiguous. We want to have clear ideas. What you want to say, I can understand. I know it is the same. Okay, we have the same length, a wavelength of thinking. That is cohesive devices. It makes things easier. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Teacher Rosie. Okay, there is another one here. Okay, very general question. Is there an ideal way to answer gap text?
Oh yes, I've already explained just now. When
Yeah,
you
I
want
think
to
you explained that
text,
earlier.
right? Yeah, you have to read the text as a whole. Don't bother about the missing sentences, right? And then after you have read and you understand what is it all about, you have to look at the gap as I have already told you, if it is at the beginning of a paragraph, that is going to be the topic sentence, the main idea. So you need to find. And then if in the middle, it can be supporting point, elaboration. And then if it is quite okay to the concluding sentence, so it may be further elaboration or examples. And then if it is in the last line, it is going to be the concluding sentence. Okay? I
Okay.
think that will help you a lot. And then after you have understood this, you go to the 8 options, delete, eliminate 2 options which are not relevant. And then you have 6 options, then you try to put it there, right? As I've already told you, because in a paragraph, we always have a structure. Topic sentence, the main idea, supporting point, to support your main idea. And then you have elaboration on the supporting point, further elaboration if you have some more to say, and of course, example, and you have to conclude your paragraph. Because in every paragraph, there is a structure. And we always say that paragraph is like a mini essay. So topic sentence is the intro, supporting point, elaboration, further elaboration, example is the content, and you must have concluding sentence because that is the conclusion. Because for each paragraph, it stands by its own. Okay, when you have finished writing paragraph 1, okay, you have nothing to do with paragraph 2, right? What you need to do is to connect. That's why I said logical connectors are very important to understand and to use. Is that answering your question?
They have not been responding, but I hope it. I think silence is golden, like what you
Yeah,
said
a
earlier.
lot,
But I
okay.
hope it's answered. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
excuse me,
There's quite a
may I know
lot.
your name? May I know your name? I don't know your
You
name
mean the
yet.
student who asked the question?
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. I think the question it was asked by
Okay.
Harish.
Yong,
Yeah, in the chat box. Yeah, I was just repeating their questions. Okay. Rosie, there's another one here. I think we take the last one, then we move on.
Okay.
What type of essay in paper 2 do you recommend for part 3? This is because whenever I write story during the exams, I only get 4 out of 5 marks in communicative achievement, and this always caused my paper to be 59 out of 60. Wow, very specific question.
Oh, okay. All right. When you write a story, when you get 59, meaning that your story is good. It's just that you want that 1 more marks because that one is communicative achievement, right? When you respond. Okay, I advise you, you must write your story that comes from your heart. You understand? The wow factor here, your language is good. I can understand that everything is perfect, but then you have to touch the reader's heart. Write from your heart. Be sincere, be honest in your writing. That will make your story fantastic to read. Okay? Is
All
that
right.
answering the question?
I think that question was from Simranjit. So, teacher, you have answered a few people's questions. Guys, if the answer is, the question is answered, please do let us know. If not, please, you can further elaborate or put your questions in another way.
Writing. Story is writing. Is 11192. I'm going to speak on that now. Okay.
Yeah, teacher Rosie, you can move on. I think we are almost halfway there. We have another less than an hour to go. So yeah, I don't want to waste your time. Pass it back to you.
Okay. As you can see, writing 11192 part 1, we have short communicative message. Normally, they will ask you to write an email, and the duration for this paper is 1 hour 30 minutes. Suggested time spent 20 minutes. I would like to recommend you to write this 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Because part 1 is very simple and you can easily score 20 marks. Spend more time for part 2 and part 3. So my suggestion is, okay, this is just a suggested time span, okay, universally. But to me, I would like you to practice to write for essay for part 1, 10 to 15 minutes, and then for part 2 about 35 minutes to 35 minutes, okay, or 40 minutes. All right, and part 3 45 minutes, okay. So we have 90 minutes altogether. Part 1 15 minutes, part 2 30 minutes, or maybe part 1 10 minutes, part 2 will be 35 minutes, right? 45 minutes, part 1 and part 2, and another remaining 45 minutes for part 3. part 3 is the most difficult one, and we expect everything from you in part 3. Okay, so the marks are the same, 20 marks for each. Some students say, you're so unfair. What is that to be unfair? Because part 1, you can easily score. This is B1. Part 2, a bit difficult, 20 marks. You know why 20 marks? I will explain further. Because 20 marks, we give content 5 marks, organization 5 marks, communicative achievement 5 marks, language 5 marks. So as you can see, we are not good in your language, but you do understand the question. You write what we ask you to write. You fully understand the task. Why not? You can get 5. And then what about the organization? You have the intro, you have the body, you have the conclusion, you have put all your ideas intact together. Why not? Give you 5 marks. And then the language, if your language, I can understand with lots of errors, still understand, I can give you 3 marks. If I cannot understand, I have to rewrite, then you get 2 marks. You understand? But if your language is super, but you have some errors here and there, but not major errors, yeah, we can still give you 5 marks. That is the beauty of CEFR. So for part 1, in 10 minutes time, you can score 20 marks. Part 2, in 35 minutes time, you can score 20 marks. All right? Easily for part 1. Part 2, quite easy. Part 3, not that easy, but still manageable. Okay? So I think it's fair and square, everybody. Right? If you are good, you can score all 20 marks for each part, and you will get full mark, 60 over 60. And when you change to percentage, you will get 25%. That is the good news. It is not the same with other subjects. I was told that other subjects, like other languages, it is not easy like this. So we should say thank you to CEFR. It helps the students. We are trying to be fair to everyone. Okay? All right. So remember, part 1, email or messages. Part 2, essay. Okay. And then essay, normal essay like an article. Extended writing, we have report, review, article, or story. But in the exam, they are going to give you 3 questions. Last year SPM, we had a review, article, and story, but no report. Maybe this time report will come out, but we don't know. But I guess story will be there. So if you, Ranjit, I think if you want to stick with your story, go on. You still have 1 month to practice. You know, when you write, you give to others to share, to your parents, to your teachers, to your colleague. In fact, you can share with your friends in Facebook, TikTok, whatnot. See what are their comments. Do they feel what you feel? Do they understand what you are trying to say? Try it out, okay? All right, now I will move on. Okay, part 1, short communicative message, a short response about 80 words. Now, you just use the blank given there. It should be okay. Please do not count the number of words. If you write long, okay, you are going to lose a lot of marks there, because not to say lose a lot of marks, you're wasting your time, because in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, you can write a good email and you can score 20 marks. Why should you waste more time on this part? So when you write longer, you have to think and then you have to write. So you will take more time than it is expected for you to do so. Okay, that's why you just write what is needed there. Okay. All right. In this part, short communicative message, you write 2. You see, look at the question. Who are you supposed to send the email to? Please create the email. Okay. Sometimes the students think so hard for the email address. You create the email address. We don't look at the email address. We do not check whether it's correct or not. And your email address, please, you can use, anybody's, no, not to use anybody's email. Create also your email. Do not give the correct email of your own email. But if you want to give, please do so, because we are not concerned. We do not concern about that. Okay. Now, and then the first paragraph, introduction, you please don't beat around the bush. straight away. Okay, what is the question? Hi, yeah, and then you say, I had received your email. Okay, then just one sentence there, and then you straight away ask. For example, your friends are asking about to join tuition class during the school holidays. Then you say, I think I agree with you, Nini, blah blah. That is introduction. About 2 sentences will do, and then go to the next paragraph. Next paragraph is the content. So you read from the email, all right? There are going to be 3 questions, 3 tasks. So you answer the question, the main idea, elaborate, main idea, elaborate, main idea, elaborate. See, it is easy, right? So make sure you cover all the content points. If not, you're going to lose marks for C. Okay, and then if you have more ideas, maybe you can add, but you have to look at your time, cannot exceed 15 minutes. So that's why you need to do a lot of practice before the exam. Okay, and then after that, after you have finished everything, conclusion, okay, I hope you agree with my suggestion. See you, bye, and then sign your name. Sign meaning that write down your name, and you can come up with any name that you like, not necessarily your name. For example, you like the name Sarah, then you put there Sarah. Okay, all right. Easy, right? Very easy. And do not ask for extra page. Do not write on extra page. You can write about 80 words. Do you understand that? Don't count the number of words. This is not summary writing. This is an email. Okay? All right. Now let us look at this short communicative message format email. It can be formal or informal, but most of the time for SPM, it is informal. Okay, email from your friend, your cousin, your brothers, sisters, and so on. So it is not that difficult to write. And then content, it is guided. We are going to give everything there. All right, and then you use WH questions, what, where, what, and so on, and length about 80 words, marks, oh, that is not make, sorry, MARKS, 20 marks. Okay, let us look at the question. You can read the question, right? The school holiday is finally, what? Is finally here. Let's go for a picnic. So, with our friends. All right. Where shall we go? That you have to go for a picnic with your friend. That one you have to elaborate and you have to touch. And then where should we go? The place. Where is it? That's why we say WH questions is very guided. And what can we do there? That means you're talking about what? Activities. And what should we bring? Another what? Okay, you have to remember, you have to choose the place, and then you are going there for a picnic, not for any other thing, but for picnic, and you are going there with your friends, and what activities that you are suggesting that you can do there, and what other things that you can bring. You answer all the questions, you write on them, and then you elaborate one, for example, one content idea, one elaboration. That will be fine. So in the content part, you're going to have at least 6 sentences. So 6 to 8 sentences will do. And for the introduction, 1 or 2 sentences will do. Okay? I'll be waiting for your reply. So after you have done with it, your conclusion, you can say, I hope you agree with my suggestion. Okay, do tell me whether you agree or not. Bye. See, it's simple, right? That is what I mean. It's easy, but trust me, if you do it nicely done, you follow what we want, we can easily give you 20 out of 20. So this kind of question for part 1, please use simple language. Okay? Okay, you can use simple sentences, compound sentences, 1 or 2 complex structure. This is a very straightforward writing, Don't beat around the bush. Don't use complex structures. It is not asked. Okay, we do not need that in this part. Save all the complex structures in part 3. This one is very simple, very straightforward, easy to understand. Okay, right. We move on to part 2, guided writing. A longer text whereby you have to write about 125 to 150 words. Okay, and based on a text stimulus. Okay, so if you write 80 words for your text email just now, so if you think 80 words, or part 2, I need to double the number of words, right? You write 80 words and then you write extra 80 words. That means you are going to write about 160 words. Don't worry, if you exceed the word limit, no harm. But you must write at least 125 words. If you write less than that, well, we see what we can do. We are going to cut off some marks. Where? Is it content, or is it definitely not language? Maybe for CA, organization. All right, you understand? Okay, this one guided writing, you need to practice because we give you one question. And if you do not know about this question, you can't write well, right? Even though we guide you, but you cannot write because I don't know anything about this. I don't have the vocabulary. I don't know how to expand the notes. Okay, so what I'm suggesting to you is that you find all the trial exam papers from different states. You can get this easily. Everybody is giving everybody the links, okay, to the questions. You try to answer all the questions, not to say all, most of the questions, maybe from a few states, Bismillah, Melaka, Selangor, Kelantan, at least 4 to 5, try to do it before the exam. Okay, who knows? Trial means you are trying to guess what questions are going to come out, right? At least you have some familiar ideas from this question. Let us look at the question. Okay. Okay, the question, let me see. You can, Fatin, please read. I can't, okay. Read the question. I asked my daughter to read. Okay. You can, oh, it's very small. Can you read the question? Anyone? Can you help me? Anybody? I can't see it, so small. Okay. Can you read it? Your
You
class has been-
volunteer.
Any volunteer, please? Your class?
Yeah.
No? I would like to hear your melodious voice. Okay? Your class, okay, help me. Your class has been discussing how they spend, right? How they spend their money and their money, correct? And your teacher, is it? Can't see. Anybody?
I think it's your teacher. I think it's your teacher.
Read me the text.
Okay, yeah, whoever there is, go on.
Yeah, anyhow, anyone. Thank you, thank you. Yes? Eh? Can you see? Huh? Too small, right? I think move on, right? Okay, you read the situation, the question, and then in your essay, you say what you would like to buy. That is going to be the first point for the content part. And then that one is what? Discuss for your choice. Okay, you have to discuss or what, okay? And then where do you normally buy those things? So there are 3 parts for your body. So what I'm trying to say is that the first part, of course, the introduction. So introduction for this part, I think this can be online shopping, you know, because you say what are the things that you buy, where do you get it? It is not necessarily online shopping. It can be anything that you use your money to buy things, okay? So introduction, you have to understand what is it all about. It's something to do about buying things, right? So your introduction must be based on that, because from introduction, you are going to go to the content part. Okay, first paragraph is...
Hello.
Yes, hello.
I think I can read the question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Your class have been discussing how they spend their money, and your teacher has asked you to write an essay about what you would spend your money on.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think I can wait. In your essay you should, that one I don't think I can read. It's too small for me.
You should write about what you would like to buy, right? and
Yep,
then
yep.
the reason for your choice, and also where do you usually buy those things,
Yes,
right?
where do those things? Yes, yes.
Okay, because it's very small, you see. Okay, write your essay using all the notes and giving reasons for your point of view. So I would like to explain this one. So when you do this part 2 guided writing, you are actually writing a normal essay. So normal essay, you should have what? Introduction, and then content and conclusion. If you cannot manage to do this, you're not writing an essay. And let's say, for example, you do not manage your time properly, you cannot finish the whole essay, we are going to cut off marks for organization and also for C. All right. So you need to find time. That's why I said you need more time here, 35 minutes. Okay. If you spend 10 minutes for short communicative text, then you only have 35. You can have 35 minutes. So if you write 10 minutes there, you can have about 10 minutes. It'll be 35 minutes or 30 to 35. But if you can write very fast for your email, you can spend for this question 40 minutes. For me, if you spend 40 minutes or 35 minutes on this question, first of all, you read and understand the question, and then you highlight certain words that will help you. Second thing, you have to start your planning. Okay, for example, what you what just now, what you would like to buy. So you need to think, what is the thing that you want to buy? There are so many things that you like to buy, but you need to choose the thing that you feel that you have a lot of vocabulary to describe, to explain. You know, you have that experience. Think, for example, shoes. You like to buy shoes and you have a lot of knowledge on shoes. Then choose. That is what I'm trying to say. Don't simply choose anything, and then later on, when you want to describe the thing, when you want to give ideas, expand your ideas, you are stuck with vocabulary and you have no more ideas. That is what I said. Planning is very important. And then after you have given the, you write short notes, you scribble there on the question paper, and reasons for your choice. Why do you like to use your money on buying that thing? Again, you have your reasons, because you are expected to give reasons. And then where do you normally buy these things? Okay, normally nowadays teenagers like you, in fact I too, would like to buy shoes, a lot of things from Shopee, Lazada, because they are cheap and they are quite reliable, right? So you give reason why do you buy from, maybe you say shop, then you give your reason why. If you say Shopee online, then you say why. Okay, so here you have first paragraph, introduction. Your introduction cannot be longer than 4 sentences. I would like to suggest you write 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, and how to make your introduction interesting? You can start with quotation. You can start with one dialogue, one sentence dialogue, things like that. Or you can ask questions, then you answer a lot of things, or using idiomatic expression. It's up to you. You want to define, or you want to straight away say shopping, shopping, shopping. Everybody likes to shop. It includes me. I also like to shop, things like that. So introduction, you must have hook. Hook means that you can attract your reader to read your essay. Introduction is like our face, must be presentable, right? And your body, it's like our body, is the most important thing. If you write good introduction, but your body, you have nothing there, so nothing also, right? We do not give marks to introduction, but introduction will encourage the reader to read your essay, and it will make a satisfaction reading after that. And then the content, make sure 1 bullet for 1 paragraph. Okay, as I've already told you, the first sentence is the topic sentence. Okay, you answer the question, make 1 sentence. I would like to ask you to write topic sentence using simple sentence. And then afterward, you are going to look at supporting point. You look again at your topic sentence. What did you say just now? And then you just follow the organization, it will be very easy and simple and effective. After supporting point, of course, you want to elaborate. You elaborate one sentence. So one simple sentence for topic sentence, supporting point, you can do simple sentence or maybe compound sentence, and then elaboration, maybe you want to do compound complex, right? And then for definitely, for example, you have to use a lot of multiple complex structure, because you are giving so many ideas. You can buy this, and this. Okay. And concluding sentence, I would like you to do either simple or complex structure. So when you want to conclude your paragraph, look again in your topic sentence. Look at your topic sentence. It is parallel in meaning, but it is presented in different way, different structure, but the meaning is the same. Okay. So after you have done with paragraph 1, is about 4 to 6 sentences. Okay. If you want to take note, you can take note. Topic sentence, the main idea, first sentence. Supporting point, you support the main idea. The third sentence is the elaboration. You have to expand your ideas. And if you have more knowledge, a lot of things to say, you just add one more sentence that is further elaboration. And then if you have so many ideas, you have examples to give, please do so. So example, and the last sentence, number 6, okay, the concluding sentence. But let's say you don't have so many ideas to write. You must write 4 sentences for each paragraph. 4 to 6 sentences in each paragraph. Topic sentence, supporting point, elaboration, concluding sentence. Again, I would like to remind you, paragraph is a mini essay. So we want to see this part because we have marked for organization. Is that clear? Okay, after you have finished with that, 4 to 6 sentences, don't write that long. And then go to the next one. Go to the next part. Okay, you have intro, you have 3 points, 4 paragraphs already. Okay, quickly you conclude your essay. That is conclusion, right? So again, conclusion, you look at your introduction, and then normally this is point of view, your opinion. So you can say that shopping is a necessity, but we as the consumer, okay, the buyer must be what? Must be clever in spending our money. That's all. Finish your essay. Simple as that. Okay. I hope you will practice before your exam. And timing yourself, whether or not you can write this within 30 to 40 minutes. And it depends. I think 40 minutes, no, 30 to 35 minutes, because you need to understand, okay, your part 1 communicative messages. Okay. And then, you know why 35 minutes? If you can write faster, thank you very much for that. But when you write, you need to think, you need to see what you have written. And if you have finished earlier, go back and read again what you have written, because most of the time we tend to make mistakes, silly mistakes, careless mistakes. This is the time for you to do the editing part. So if you find any mistake, you cancel and write it properly on top of the word that you have canceled. Because if you use liquid paper, you need to wait for it, you know, to dry. So sometimes you forget about it. So it will be blank there. So when it's blank there, when we read, it doesn't make sense. So your whole essay is not going to be understood well. So that is my advice. Do not use a liquid paper. That's why when you write, you have understood the question. Your ideas are in your mind. You write, you make sure you are controlled. You are controlling the ideas, okay? And you control your language, all right? So that's why 30 to 55 minutes to read, understand, planning, write, editing, okay? All right. Now we move to next one. Wow, guided writing, essay, this one again, another question. You can try this out, okay? And you can let your teachers check for you and give marks. Okay, part 3. Part 3 is the hardest of all because the expectation is the highest. Part 3 is the opposite of part 1. Part 1, you can relax. For those good students, sometimes you're so relaxed that their part 1 is not so good. So my advice is you balance. If you're a good writer, right? So you make sure that you just give enough for part 1, but everything you put in part 3. Okay, use all the vocab that grammar structure, active construction, passive construction, anything that you show off. You need to show off. Show off means show off your talent, your language, your information. Hey, I have read a lot. I have been studying English for almost 12 years. See, this is it. This is my product. Part 3, 45 minutes. Sorry, you cannot bargain with me. Because this part, you need to do on your own, and you need to show off. When you want to show off, a lot of things have to be done. Okay? Yeah. A choice of 3 questions, actually 4, you are going to be taught 4 types of writing, right? Story, review, report, and article. But we are going to give you 3 questions and you have to choose. My advice is, if you are going to write story, please read the question, all the questions. Who knows? Review might be interesting. Who knows? Report might be easier. That is what I'm trying to say. And then story, you read first and then you made up your mind. So that's why this part is 45 minutes, because 5 minutes to read all the questions carefully and to make up your mind which one you need to choose. And then, all right, the questions given here, I guess we don't have to read the question. You can read on your own, right? My advice is, again, you have to write the introduction, not more than 4 sentences. This time around, use everything that you have. Give everything. Throw out, give everything. Okay? And then, of course, you have first, second, third paragraph. And maybe you want to add another paragraph, right? If you write an article or report, and you will write a review also, you know how to write a review. And then a story, you must have what? First introduction is the background, the setting, the character, right? And then the first paragraph is the what? Is the what we have that? A little bit of introduction and rising action or the conflicts. And then the second and third paragraph, there is going to be what we call that? Climax, all right? Because we have five paragraphs. Introduction about the setting and the character, and then the first paragraph about the introduction, the second paragraph about the rising action, the conflicts, the problems, and the fourth paragraph is going to be your climax. And of course, the last paragraph is your resolution or your conclusion. So it's not that difficult, don't worry. And 200 and 250 words. Just now you have, let's say you have written 125, 250, right? Now you just add another 50 or 50 words to 100 words. Okay? Don't be scared of the number of words. You just think, okay, I write 80 words and then part 2 I write 150 because it just like double the number of words. Now I have done with my 150 words. Now I just add 50 to 100 words more. Okay, so if you think that way, you're going to be very excited because you have done part 1, go to part 2 and part 3. Part 3 is the finale. Okay, all right. And then format. Okay, of course, you have learned all these format: review, report, article, story. Choose one. Don't write many, only one. And content guided, you have WH question there, 120 marks to 100 and 250 marks. Okay. For example, articles wanted, my school canteen. You okay, on notice on the board. Okay, you see this notice on the board outside the school library. So article wanted about your school canteen. So your points are given there. All right. So you, based on the points, okay, if you want to write on 3 paragraphs, okay, but this time around you cannot write 4 sentences. You must write six sentences. Okay. Okay, maybe you want to add more elaboration, give more what we call that vibes to your paragraph, idiomatic expression, right? And then for story, I would like to advise you to have some dialogues, but do not write dialogue so many, 5, 6 lines. 2, 3 lines will do. Enough. Okay. Okay. So for part 1, I don't like if you like idiomatic expression, proverbs, so many of them in part 1. You don't have to, right? So you can use idioms, what meaning that phrasal verb, never mind, in part 1. But in part 3, like what I already told you, show off, show everything that you have. Okay. All right. Then you have review there. And now let us look at the story. A dream comes true. So you have to use this. Okay, a dream comes true, the topic, right? Your story should include a descriptive, okay, description of the what dream and how the dream is achieved. Now, there are two parts of this story. One, you have to describe the dream. What dream do you have? A dream comes true, meaning that it is not a dream. You are not dreaming actually. What is your dream? Impian. All right. And then what is your dream? For example, your dream is to go to Australia to further your studies in accountancy or engineering. And then you tell us how your dream is achieved. Okay. You cannot just tell me about your dream because you have to answer the other part of the question. How does your dream is achieved? Okay. All right. So I've already given you, you follow the techniques: introduction, rising action, climax, okay, falling action, conclusion. In every story, we are waiting for the climax. So if you don't have climax, your story will not be interesting. Ranjit just now told us that he wants to get full mark. I think you have done everything good, Ranjit. It's just that you have to add a bit of spice. That is, you have to be honest with yourself, sincere with yourself, right from your heart. That's it. It will touch people's heart. Okay. All right. Marking aspects, all content is relevant. You will get 5 marks. Target reader is fully informed. The correct text genre must be written with the correct register. For example, I already told you, email the correct format, and then you bluff your email. It doesn't matter. We just want to look at the format. Use correct register. Very straightforward language, simple to understand. All right. Okay, this is for part 1. Ideas are clearly written, reasonably, appropriately. Okay, use simple connectors and fanboys for and no, neither, no, either, no, but, that is fanboy. So, easy to understand, and but. User simple connectors, limited number of cohesive devices. You can use the word frequently, like and, but, because, firstly, secondly, it is permissible in this part. And language, use simple grammatical forms with a good degree of control. Everything you have to control your language. If you're a good student, you control sometimes slip of the pen, slip of the thought. So you need to read your essay and do the editing, okay? And use basic vocabulary. You don't have to crack your brain to think of the words in part 1. Relax, simple. You crack your brain in part 3, okay? All right, this one, greeting, hi, hello. You can say hi, hello, to, and dear. All right. And the response, I'm glad to hear from you. You can memorize this if you want to. All right. Because it will help you a lot. Okay. Because you are preparing yourself for the second and third parts. Thanks for writing to me. I received your email yesterday. Cohesive devices, first of all, next, then besides. You don't have to say besides that. Besides alone, meaning that apart from this, okay? And, but, or, yes, so, lastly, finally, and so on. And concluding formula, I hope to hear from you soon. Please do keep in touch. I'll be waiting for your reply. Write back soon. Looking forward to your next email. Not to say write everything. Choose 1 or 2 for you to remember so that it will be easier for you to write the conclusion. Okay, it's very simple. All right, marking aspect for part 2. Okay, for content for every part 1, part 2, part 3, we can give you 5 marks if your content is relevant to the task, okay, and the target reader is fully informed. That means your examiner, okay, and communicative achievements or CA, a mix of 3 things, okay. What does it mean? Communicative achievements, the correct text genre. If you are writing an email, you have to write an email. Sorry, this is part 2. If you are writing an essay, like what I said, you have to have all the essay features, okay? Must be written with the correct register, okay? If it is article, it's formal. Okay, you cannot use, please do not use contraction in your essay, okay? Contraction only can be used like I, can, in dialogue, but not in the essay. You understand or not? For email, maybe yes, but I still prefer you to say, I'm okay instead of I, apostrophe M. I'm okay, that's good, that is good. Okay, but for part 2 and part 3, I'm so sorry, my dears. No contraction at all. Spell it out. And then if you have number, for example, 10 years, can you please spell it out? TEN instead of 110, 10, okay? Because this is a language paper, we are testing you on your spelling also, okay? All right. Don't be lazy, be very hardworking for your A plus, okay? And then you have been waiting for 12 years for this moment to show off what you have understood, what you have learned, and you're waiting for the result. Please do this for yourself, okay? All right. And then the intelligence of the ideas, elaborate, like what I've already told you, to hold the target reader's attention. So the style of writing is up to you. It comes from the individual writer or student. I cannot force you, because as you read a lot, you use the language a lot, you understand, you immerse everything. That's it. You can see the power of reading and practices. Okay, it pays off. But if you haven't read, still you can score. Don't worry about that. Okay, it's just that the students, okay, who read the most, all right, practices the most, will find it easy. They will write the essay questions easily, with ease. Those who are what we call that, not early birds, but late comers, that kind of thing, still can do this essay part. Don't worry, but you have to struggle a bit. Okay, text is generally well organized and coherent. What is the meaning of coherent? Understand. When I read your text or the reader read your essay, I can understand. It makes sense, logical, right? I can see the connection. So when it is not coherent, sometimes you are missing something, missing verb, and then the pronouns, you say I just now, then you say you say she, and then suddenly become he. So it does not coherent. All right. So that one you should check. You have to write at least 3 to 4 essays before the exam, and then variety of cohesive devices. In short, okay, if God willing, I will share with you the cohesive devices after this in our group. And language uses a range of everyday vocabulary with occasional inappropriate use of less common lexics. That means something that words we expect vocabulary, like for example words like extraordinary, not that commonly used. Lethargic, for example, there are in this part of your essay. Uses of range of simple and some complex grammatical forms with a good degree of control. Meaning that complex grammatical structure, that means you can write complex structure sentences, and then you can use active passive well. You can use the style of writing like embedded clause, things like that, but it doesn't matter. As long as we understand what you are trying to say, it's okay. All right, extended writing, you can see now, I've already explained. Assessment scales, C content, 5, that means task fulfillment. Communicative achievement, 5. Organization, 5. Language, 5. 20 marks. So if you are not getting your language, but content you can get 5. Communicative achievement, let's say you get 3. Organization, you get 5. 5, 10, 13. Language, you get 3. See, you can still get 18 marks. But if you are good in everything, surely 20 marks is yours. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, I'm not telling you story, like story that cannot be trusted, but this is a fact. It's not a story. All right. Okay. All right. Content, focus on how well the candidate fulfills the task. Read the question carefully. The first thing that you have to do, read and understand. If you don't understand, read the question again and again. Don't worry that you're going to waste your time. I think you're going to take the most 5 minutes, but most normally 2 to 3 minutes. So if you don't understand, what are you going to write? You're going to start in the middle. So first, focuses on how well the candidate fulfills the task for content, 5 marks. Okay, regardless, part 1, part 2, part 3, we can give you 5 marks. Communicative achievement focuses on how appropriate the writing is for the task and whether the candidate has used the appropriate register and cohesive devices and connectors. Organization focuses on the way the candidate puts together the piece of writing in a logical and ordered way, like paragraphing. I've already told you. Okay, language focus on vocabulary and grammar, includes the range of language as well as how accurate it is. All right. prepared format with 3 parts. Okay, this one is speaking. Okay, I think question I will take after this. We are going to go to speaking, because speaking will give you 25 marks, 25%, 24 marks. You have to come in pairs. I think you have done this exercise at school, right? So part 1, interview individually. All right, you need to say your name loudly, clearly. I think your teacher has already told you to do so. And then part 2, individual long term based on text, verbal prompt. Okay, if possible, don't ask your teacher or interlocutor to repeat the question, right? Because if you ask him or her to do so, it will give we want to score full mark, right? So it will not be nice if you try to ask, what is it, sir? Or you just keep quiet. You should answer the question immediately after the question. All right, part 3, discussion with partner. That's why you have, I think you know already your speaking partner. So please practice with your partners, okay? So that both of you have the chemistry and you know what to do and you're very comfortable with each other. Practice before the test, okay? On mind map, stimulus will be given and further discussion task. Okay, this one, the last question in this part is HOTS. HOTS means highly ordered thinking skill, whereby after you have discussed, after you have made up your mind which one and so on, there will be a question that will be asked based on the topic that you have discussed, but it is not on the question itself. It is related to your question, and then you have to think very fast and you have to tell what you know about it. So it's a bit tricky, not to say difficult, a bit tricky. So you look at the positioning. This one is just to remind you, okay, because the exam is around the corner, right? 15, if I'm not mistaken, I have already jotted down the exam dates. Maybe you want to take down, all right? For speaking, it is on 13 to 15 of February. Okay, you still have about 1 month to go. And for listening is 16 of February. And for your reading and writing paper, both will be on 21st of February. Okay, so you still have time. All right, interlocutor, that means your teacher, your English teacher at your school, any one of them. Manages the interaction, that means she or he will ask the question, make you feel comfortable and at home, right? So we don't want you to collapse during the speaking exercise test because you're so nervous. Okay, my advice is you must walk into the room with, you know what, with happiness. You feel like, okay, what question that they are going to ask me? I'm so excited. But don't be too over or confident and don't be too nervous. Remember, you just talk. So easy, you know. And then you get marked 25%. Okay. So you look, interlocutor is going to sit in front of the 2 candidates. Assessor, the silent assessor. This assessor will be an English teacher from other schools. Your JPN, you know, the JPN, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri, will assign the teacher. We do not know who. This is silent assessor. He or she will not be speaking, will not be interrupting. She or he will be giving you 18 marks, 6 for grammar, 6 for vocab, 6 for communicative competence. And your teacher, interlocutor, only have 6 marks for fluency. Okay, so altogether 24. 18 plus 6. And then from 24 marks, we are going to change it to 25%. Okay. So that's why, as you can see, you need to speak as loudly as possible, as clearly as possible. Okay. Especially when you introduce your name, because your assessor will check your name. Okay. So don't mumble, straight. Okay. Sit up straight and throw out your voice. Okay. All right. Okay, now part 1 interview is about 3 to 4 minutes. We'll ask you the first part, interview by the interlocutor on familiar topics like school and home life. For example, how do you come to school? What do you have for breakfast? What is your favorite subject? Who is your idol? You know, very easy. What is your favorite television program, right? We ask question 30 seconds. We expect you to answer about 30 seconds. All right. We have two parts there. All right. And that means your friend will answer, you will answer. That's why it's about 3 to 4 minutes. But after 4 minutes, your interlocutor or your teacher will say, thank you. That's the end of part 1. That's why you have to speak before the time's up. We are going to use stopwatch, so don't worry about that. Possible topics, your hobby, your pastime, your pet, your family members, your relative, your sports day, your good friend. So maybe you can practice this, okay? And you don't have to speak much. You just tell in 1 to 2 sentences. Will do. If I say, what is your hobby? Reading. No, we don't want that. My hobby is reading. I like reading. You don't have to wait for your teacher to ask the next question. My hobby is reading. I love reading since I was small, and I think that reading has helped me a lot. Thank you. That is now perfect. Okay. Right. Then part 2, 3 to 4 minutes. You have to understand. 3-4 minutes is not for you alone. 1 minute, we give you 20 seconds to look at the question. By the way, no stationery, no paper. You are going to bring yourself there. Okay. Your IC and your paper to show that you are the candidate of the school. That's all. So when you look at the question, we give you 20 seconds. You have to think and start thinking what I want to see. 20 seconds is very short actually, but it's enough for you to think. So 20 seconds for you to think, and then 1 minute for you to response, and then the teacher will ask one question to your friend. So that's why it's about 1.5 minutes. And then your friend also will do the same thing, and your teacher will ask you a question from your friend's response. Okay, do you understand?
Rosie, sorry, just want a kind reminder. I think we have less than 10 minutes left. Maybe you
I can finish.
try to summarize the main points. Yeah, thank you.
All right, 20 seconds to prepare, 1 minute to talk. Take note of WH questions. You are given the topic, and then you just look at the topic, and then based on the bullets, you answer the question. You don't have to read the question. You read the question, you understand, you start talking. And then this one, discussion with your partner based on mind map. Everything is given there, only the main ideas, right? And then you have to discuss this one. You need to understand. If your friend doesn't speak that well, then you can start the conversation, and you can show which one that you want to talk about. We are going to give you 6 options. Preferably, you take 2 each. Don't take 3, 4. You don't have time, because you're going to talk about 1 minute on that. So 20 seconds to prepare, 2 minutes to discuss the topics, not 2 minutes to discuss. Discussion meaning you're talking to each other, 1 minute each, and then 1 minute to give a decision after you have discussed which one is the best one, and then 2 minutes, meaning that 1 minute for you to say about the hot question, and your friend another 1 minute. Okay, tip, use appropriate vocabulary, discuss and make decision in past. You must make decision. You don't wait for your teacher, because if she asks or the question, straight away answer the question. We have turn taking, and then refer to language banks. Okay, why do people shop online? Then you can look at this. Maybe your friend say wide variety, time saving. You show with your hand, and then you say you want to have better prices and convenient. So so you're not going to talk on the same thing. And after that, out of these 4 choices, and then which one is the most why people shop online? Okay, the most popular. You must agree on that. And then later they are going to your teacher will ask you about hot questions based on online shopping. Okay. This one, grammar, of course, the same thing, vocabulary, communicative competence. You can listen to question, answer spontaneously. Interlocutor, okay. You say, you see, this one is indication that you have exceed the limit. Like now, I have 10 minutes. So if I exceed, Mr. Young will say, exceed already, thank you. So thank you. This is the end of the test. That means finish everything. Or if you haven't finished the 3 part, okay, this is the end of part 1. Pupils 1 and 2 say thank you to both interlocutor and assessor. You can say thank you, teachers, and leave the examination room quietly when you have finished everything. Okay. Listening, 40 minutes with 4 parts. 30 marks for this paper. Answer all questions. You will listen to the recording twice. Okay. You listen. Okay, that's why we are going to give you time to study the question for each part. Please study, read the question, and when you listen, you know what to listen to. Okay, when you do the first listening, you try to listen as much as possible, jot down everything. You know, you scribble on the paper. Because after this, you cannot check your answer. And then the second reading is to determine whether the answer is right or wrong. Or you just want to find which part that I have missed just now. Okay? Not to say second listening only you want to find the answer. First listening, you can find the answer already. Second listening is to determine the answer. So, candidate write their answers on the answer paper. So, short unrelated dialogues, okay? This one, part 1, 3 option. Is going to be dialogues. You're going to listen to dialogues or monologues. Monologues, they are talking to himself or herself. Dialogue, both 2 persons. There is one 3 option multiple choice, meaning that A, B, C. You will hear people talking in 7 different situations, 1 to 7. Choose the correct answer A, B, or C. All right. So you will hear the each recording twice. Okay. Answer all the questions. If you cannot listen, just guess. A, B, C. Don't leave any question blank. Answer it. Who knows your answer is the answer you're guessing is right. Okay. And then part 2, a longer narrative or informational monologues, meaning that a person or a reader is going to read. And then, like just now, they will going to say that, okay, conversation is for question 1. Go to question 2, another conversation. But this one, this person will speak, from beginning until end. So you need to listen to what he or she is saying, and at the same time, try to look at the question, and if you can get the answer from what he or she is saying, straight away you circle the answer and take down notes. So it is very busy. You're going to be very busy during listening. Listen, writing, thinking, and choosing the correct answer. Okay. And then you cannot wait until it finishes. Along the way, first reading, the answers are there. Okay. All right. And then part 3, 5 short monologues, meaning that a person will speak one and then one, all right, and with 7 options given. Okay, you will hear 5 short extracts in which teenagers are talking about shopping habits. For example, for questions 16 to 20, choose from the list A to G. We are going to give you the answers, but you have to choose what each speaker says. Use the letters only once. So if you have already written A, you cannot write A anymore for that person. So you choose A to G. There are 2 extra letters which you do not need to use. You will hear the recording twice. So you just like gap text, you eliminate. Okay, but you have to listen first. Okay, after you have listened, when you want to make up your mind, you can eliminate which one that 2 answers which are not relevant. And please answer all the questions. If you cannot think, you miss that listening part, just write anything A to G, but make sure you write something. Don't leave blank. Okay. And part 3, this one, the hardest part. Okay. Read through all the sentences, underline the most important words. Okay. So first time listen, write the options you think matches the speaker's opinion. Second time listen, check your answer. So now, part 4, note completion, a neutral or informal dialogue or interview. Candidates complete gap summary. Okay, I'm going to interview, let's say for example, I'm going to interview let's say let's say our Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Anwar. So that is going to be the interview or dialogue, and then you have to listen carefully and take down notes as much as possible. And then if you can answer the question, you can listen well, straight away write the answer. But here you need to look at the text. So we are going to give you time to read the text. Read the text, what is it all about, the blanks, right? And then you look, if they say to, so to, you cannot say, let's say, for example, when. All right, but then we have to. So you cannot say when is to go, things like that. Plural is very important. Spelling is mandatory. Okay, sometimes the word needs to be changed here and there, but most of the time you listen, then you can write. But whatever it is, read again the text after you have filled in the blanks. So question 21 to 30, candidates complete gap summary text. All right, and then you will hear a student Azlan talking about his experience as an exchange student in Italy. For question 21 to 30, fill in the missing information in each number space. All right, I think there's one, the same word you hear in the recording, listening, spelling must be correct. Fill in each gap with one word, not more than one. Fill in the gaps while listening to the audio first time. Check your answers or fill in any missing answers for the second time. All right. Read the questions before listening, like what I already told you. Listen to the audio carefully. Write down any keywords you hear. Write down everything. When you listen for the second time, choose the correct answers. Second time, you cannot say, what is it all about? Second time is to choose the correct answers. Listen for specific information. And of course, check your answer again. Be careful when you transfer the answers onto the answer sheet, because in reading, listening, you have to transfer all the answers to the answer sheet. Make sure it is correctly transferred. Okay, use to be pencil to blacken. All right, make sure you blacken the correct answers. You have 40 minutes to listen and transfer the answers to answer sheet. Now, I would like to advise you, when you answering the objective part, use to be pencil. But then when you want to complete the text, you use a pen, right? But whatever it is, listen to the instruction given to you by the invigilators during the exam. All right, all the best. You are so close to the victory. Don't you dare to give up now. Okay, thank you. That's all from me. Yes, Yong, is it time? Time's up? Mr. Yong?
Thank you for rushing it through to finish it.
I
teacher
can
Rosie.
finish it. Yeah.
Can. All right.
Any question?
I think there is a lot of questions, but I don't think we can take them because it's really time
Okay,
now.
I answer in
What
the
we so teacher Rosie, what we do is we already share in the chat box. So students, if you really have any questions that you wish to communicate that through to teacher Rosie, I think we put it down in Telegram. So
can you do that?
Please do that. Teacher Rosie will gladly answer your questions. So sorry, because of time restraint, we
So you are
cannot.
2 hours because I have to cover four
Yeah, it's not
papers.
easy, understand.
But I managed to do it. Actually, what any materials that I feel are important to you, I will send it to your Telegram. I
Yes.
remember that I promised you the cohesive devices. I will
Yes.
share. So I
Yep.
think they are not going to leave this this Telegram. How many days? Deadline.
No. It will be there for long term. It also keep us communicating with them to share with them the
Okay.
upcoming
If that is the
events
case,
that's
then
helpful for them.
I will send some materials which I feel can help them in their exam. So
Yep.
what I want to
That'll be
say is that all the best to all of you. I do not know how many of them. How many of them now?
There's more than 70, 80 here with us tonight.
Okay,
So
all
yeah, I think
over
that's
Malaysia.
excluding those that are watching at our other platform. It can be more than hundreds. Yeah. So
Yeah, actually, my heartfelt thanks to AOG because realizing my dream to help others, not only my students, my 4-5 students at Paris Petra, but also to all the students all over Malaysia. That is my aim.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
I hope that you gain something from my talk, and then I share what I can. But I can promise you, if you do what I told you to do, or I have told you to do, God willing, you are good, you are sincere in your studies, your A+ is in your hands. I think that's all for me. And if I have any shortcomings from me, anything that it is not good about me, I would like to express sorry. Okay, all right, see you then. Not to see you then, good luck in your exam. All right, I might not see you, but maybe
Thank you,
who
teacher.
knows, we might bump into each other and you say, are you teacher Rosie? Yeah, I may not know you, but you know me. Okay, all right, is that all?
Yes, they are saying thank you to you. The chat box. I think
see
some of
chat
them
box. I
unmute
didn't
as
check
well.
this chat box.
You can
Okay.
click on the chat box and check now. I think all of them are
Okay.
saying thank you.
So, okay,
So-
that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Teacher Rosie as well, we just want to thank you all for joining us. It's a Friday night. Instead of being elsewhere, you are here. So tomorrow there's a last session with Sir Zazavi, same time and same place here, Zoom. So please tune in and join our last session. And we wish you all a good night rest. And
If I
yeah,
can, okay, if I can, I would like to ask for a certificate for my own keeping because next year is my retirement. So at least I can see the certificate because all these COVID, things, I do not have certificates to remember me by. Can
no
you
problem.
give
I think
the
what we'll
certificate?
do, that will leave that conversation behind.
Ah.
I think Chicken will, I mean, our team will
Thank
be in
you very
touch with you
much.
to talk about it.
Okay, that's
I
all
think
from
what I can do now is,
Uh-huh.
if those of you, so many of you say thank you, if I can just ask one request, can you all turn on your camera? We'll just take a quick group
Okay.
photo
Take
with Teacher
photo.
Rosie,
Yeah.
you know, because she's gonna retire very soon. It's gonna be good memories for her. If anyone of you are able, please turn on your camera. Don't leave me alone here.
Okay, hi.
Yes, there's one. Thank you so much, Putra.
Hi.
Anyone else? Yes, I can see all the cameras.
Oh, a lot of you. Good luck.
All right. We'll wait on a while more so we can take a group photo, then everyone can go. Okay, come on. Show some love for Teacher Rosie. Yeah. Okay, I'll see more. Okay. Thank you so much. Wow, finally can see all of you. Okay, you guys are really there. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? If you can hear me, can you turn on your video? If you're able to. If you need more time to do a mirror check, let us know in the chat box. Otherwise, yeah, we'll take photos soon. Oh, nice. That's more than half of you already. Okay, great. Anyone else? Some of you are giving emoji, but video not on. I'm not sure if you have video difficulty or anyone else. I'll just wait a little while more. Anyone else want to turn on your video? We'll wait for you. More emojis. Okay, one more is turned on. Thank you so much. Thanks for the wishes, Aiman, to everyone. Okay, anyone else? If not, we should take in 10 seconds. Last call. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, if even your name and profile picture will do. Okay, we'll take a group photo. Just one page. Yep. At least you ready? Yes, okay. On 3, you just give your biggest smile, okay, for Teacher Rosie. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, is that okay, photo? Okay, it's a thumbs up. All right, we got a photo for you, Teacher Rosie, and I think we'll send to the group as well. Everyone can have a copy. Yes, thank you, everyone. Have a good night rest. For those of you joining tomorrow, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
That's good.